Multivision effects became first involved with House of the Flesh Mannequins through one of their main actors, Domiziano Arcincelli. I had worked with him previously on Samurai Avenger, in which we split his head in half, cut his hand off, and his leg. We became subsequent friends, and he had mentioned to me that this Italian production was coming to town and that he was producing it. One of the first sequences of effects is when Irene Hoffman, her character, comes in and finds her boyfriend with another woman. What she does is she puts a gun into her boyfriend's mouth and blows his brains out. We used an air cannon. Air cannon is basically a pressurized device that blows chunks and debris and blood out the back end. On Irene Hoffman, which is a very, very pretty young lady, we produced this burned back prosthetic. The process that we used is one that we developed for Passion of the Christ, which is a cabo prosthetic transfer. Basically, it's just transferring a prosthetic on with water transfer paper. For that, we did her whole back. It's all burned up, and it's pretty grotesque looking. But it sort of adds to why her character is as messed up as she is and why she does what she does. There's a dream sequence, and he wakes up, and there's these little people around his bed with spoons. And for that effect, we wanted the little people to come in with the spoons and actually scoop pieces of them away. It was kind of an elaborate effect, so we'll kind of go through some of the process. Initially, we did a life cast of Domiziano, and we had a fiberglass shell. What we did that day is we took Domiziano, laid him down on a foam mat, and kind of made an indent where he would lay. And then we laid on the fiberglass plate, which was actually tack glued onto him. Now, the fiberglass plate is obviously for protection and also offers resistance against the gelatin skin. We produced a gelatin prosthetic that would go over all this. Once you have it applied, you paint it to look like his flesh. Had to build or make a tattoo transfer because Domiziano had this tattoo on his side here. So we produced his tattoo and actually transferred it onto the gelatin. It's probably not even noticeable in the movie, but if you do catch it, that is his tattoo on his body. And then we had to apply hair. And we tried to replicate his hair pattern as well on top of the gelatin piece. But once that's all, done up, which takes a little while, then we were ready to roll, and you can see the finished effect. Yeah, Domiziano, during the whole process, was an absolute pro. And he had to lay there for 3 hours, not being able to get up and use the facilities, and it was a hot room. Also, when we were performing Domiziano's demise with the little people, we decided to use real guts, and we sent someone out, and they came to set, and they had real guts. Now, I personally couldn't touch these things. I had one of my assistants, they were very gung-ho with all gloves, and they were playing around with them. But once they broke that skin, and between that, the heat of the lights and the smell of the pig intestines it was unreal. It was not a good day.
It stings.
When I was signed on through Domiziano, the director, I got to meet him in the production office. And through talking to him, I was really, despite our somewhat of a language barrier, I was able to really understand what his vision, what he wanted to bring out in the project. And through me and him talking, we were able to also come up with the connection between the slicing of the girl victim's back and her burned back, and basically give it a backstory. And that was me and Domiziano, and me being able to connect with him and his vision, and being able to bring that out onto the screen. It was really fascinating to watch the Italian crew and how they came up with things and how they kind of did it on the spot, and it was really impressive. The whole crew was really great, and there were a great group of guys. Working with him was great. I mean, he was, you know, very inventive and a really sweet guy, and I really I hope, you know, in the future we get to work together again.